So in part one of today's live stream, I brought you on a discovery journey down the streets of Nishantasi, Istanbul, which is the prime shopping street of here in Istanbul, to discover the Christmas decorations. And it's snowing so strongly. It's actually snowing very strongly right now, very heavily. That I came back to my favorite book cafe and to have a nice warm coffee. You know, really nothing like a nice warm coffee when it's snowing outside. So beautiful. Just look at this limited decoration here, and then the snow drifting down outside. You see, no fake snow, you know. These are real snow, right? And yeah, and people all dressed up thick, you know. Looks so Christmassy. And sitting indoors here with a nice cup of warm coffee. This is the life. And actually, I didn't want to do a part two, but because part one today was so short, and I thought I'm going to go around to do more videos about. Yes, I'm doing a video about what Christmas is like here in Istanbul, and I actually finished really fast. And I'm so thankful that today is snowing, so made the video a lot more interesting. I think I'm most likely going to release that video tomorrow, right? So stay tuned if you are curious about how Christmas is like in Istanbul. Okay, and yeah, so it was really short, and because it's snowing really heavily just now, I couldn't stay out in the snow for too long. Like I said, if you stay on the snow for too long, all your hair, your clothes gets drenched because snow is essentially water. Okay, and so I came here looking for a nice hot cup of coffee, and yeah, guys, more chit chat if you want to. This feeling, this feeling of warmth in the snow, to me is the feeling of Christmas. What about you guys? What's the feeling of Christmas for you guys? This is the first time I do like two parts, yeah, in one day. Maybe I should rename that earlier video to, instead of Limpeh Coffee Chat, maybe I should just rename it to discovering the Christmas lightings of Istanbul. Yeah, more appropriate. Maybe I should just change the title right now. Give me a moment. Okay, I just changed the title of the the last video from the morning coffee chat to discover Christmas deco in Istanbul. So it's more appropriate, like 1 and 30 minutes video showing you guys the Christmas decorations of Istanbul. Of course, I actually made a separate video, an actual video to show you guys what Christmas is like here in Istanbul. Okay, so stay tuned for that video as well. Let's see if anyone comes on. If nobody comes on thinking that I'm done for the day, then I would just finish with this as well. For those of you who just joined me, I just did a half an hour walkthrough of Istanbul's shopping street, showing you guys the Christmas decorations on the streets, or the lack of Christmas decorations, and also showing you guys the snow. Today is a snowing day here in Istanbul, a snowing white Christmas as I go around the snow, right? And so we're back for a chit chat session. Oh, こんばんは、時給さん。元気ですか？ GQ from Japan. You know, you're the first, I think. Oh no, not the first, the second Japanese viewer I've ever had. How's everything? Oh, you know, to me, this is the feeling of Christmas. Snowing outside and the warmth of coffee inside. Oh, this is so good. This is the feeling of Christmas. GQ Sam, do you know where I experienced my first winter in my life? 僕の命に初めての冬どこに知りますか？ I experienced the first ever winter, that means like real winter, snow and everything. Okay. Uh, 어디 글쎄요, in Tokyo, Yokohama. Yokohama, 25 years ago was when I experienced my first winter. Yo, actually, Yokohama and Saitama, I was going between. Yeah. So I experienced my first winter with snow in Japan, in Yokohama and Saitama, 25 years ago. Hi DCM, welcome back. How do you guys enjoy the walkthrough of the shopping street just now? Wow. So I came back to this, my warm and cozy book cafe, my favorite book cafe, my favorite place to stream from still. And there's a Santa Claus here. 横滨, Yokohama. Yeah, the huracan. What's the huracan? I don't. You keep saying huracan. What's a huracan? I don't know what's a huracan. Yokohama. Yokohama-shi, Saitama-shi. Actually, back 25 years ago, I spent most of my time in Saitama. That was my first ever winter in my life. Saitama was where I first experienced snow. I think either Saitama or Yokohama. I was going between Saitama and Yokohama a lot. GQ, how should I call your name? I have no name, no ethnicity, no nationality. Just know me as a human being. That's all. Everybody calls me by all kinds of different names. Nobody ever knows my name, and I don't ever use my name anymore either. So, in this world today, very, very, very few people knows my name anymore because it's not important. Name, I want people to see me as a human being. No, not as a name, not as ethnicity, not as nationality, nothing. Just a human being. In fact, if I could change my look, I would try to change my look to something that is not of any particular race or ethnicity, freedom from all labels and bondage and identities has been my pursuit in life. Yeah, my spiritual pursuit in life, to realize the state of being of just a human and not any form of labels. The Lamborghini Huracan. Is it a is that Lamborghini called Huracan? I'm not sure. I don't really care actually. Looks like a small Lamborghini. I've seen bigger ones. Kimi no Namae wa. Oh, I like that movie Kimi no Namae wa. Wow, what the? I watched Kimi no Namae wa in Korea. I was living in Korea during that time. And of course, the second one, Kimi no Namae wa. そして何? The same director. After Kimi no Namae wa, what's that? The other one I watched, the one, something about rain. Ame no nani? ねえ、せやな。名前虫さん。名前なんや。For those of you who added me on either my Facebook or my Instagram and you think you know my name, let me share with you again. That isn't even my name. If you look at my passport, you see a completely different name. None of the elements of name you see in my Instagram nor my Facebook is in my passport. So if you actually think you know my name, you actually don't. In this world today, I would say nobody really knows my name, not even my relatives. Because my relatives didn't, since young, they never called me by my name either. They called me by an alias, and nobody really knew my name. Nobody. It's interesting to, it's an interesting way to live, where actually nobody really ever knows me by my official name as reflected in my ID at all. Very interesting, except for like maybe the tax the tax man. GQ. I also have a lot of nicknames, sir. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Let's all know each other as human beings. That's the most important. You're human being, I'm human being. We're all the same. This is the state of oneness. This is the original state of being human being, where there is no ego, where there's no you and me here or there, this and that. That's the real state of reality. DCM, I'll just call you Limpeh. So yeah, everybody calls me Limpeh, and it was a unfortunate side effect of my introduction in my videos. Some people call me Singaporean, some people call me Limpeh. I don't know, people call me all kinds of stuff. I don't really care. I know people need something to refer to. So I let them just invent whatever they want to. I refuse to wear a label. I refuse to wear a name, an ethnicity, a nationality, or an organization, or whatever, or a title. I refuse to wear any of these labels. GQ, what do you do? Secret. I do a lot of things. Those who have been with me long enough know how I make my money, but it's nothing I would like to talk about. I lived a long and complex life. I've lived many lifetimes across many eras. So, there's no easy way to. I know people ask questions like this, like, where are you from? What do you do? To have an idea or to understand a person better. I completely understand and I completely respect that. But so I'm sorry to say there's no easy way to know who I am. You only know whom I am by communicating with me over a long period of time, and slowly you start to form an idea of who I am. But that idea is not going to come as easy as, oh, where are you from? What do you do? What's your race? And no, none of these things define me at all. No easy way to know who I am. The only way to know is stick with my channel. By and by you'll know. 저는 학원 교사를 했어요. 학원 교사. 센세様. 야바이나. 야바이. 센세様. DCM, yeah, you blocked me on Facebook and removed from options group. Of course I do, because you were being a dick. Like I say, DCM, I'm just a dog. You can treat me as a dog. You treat me good, I will ew. You treat me back, I'll bite you. Very simple guy. I'm very simple. Today you treat me good, I treat you good. Today you treat me bad, immediately I do something to stop it. That's all I do. I don't bear any grudges, anything. I don't hate you. I'm just reacting to what you do, that's all. No emotion, no emotion. If you piss me off, then I'll block you. Very simple. Yeah. Cram school. Juku. Yeah, I know. The Hakwons of Korea. So it's real Hakwon, yeah. Hakwon Kyosunim. But even so, that doesn't define you. That's just what you do to make money. To me, that your job, your career does not define you. Unless you tell me it defines you. Unless you tell me that is strongly who you are, okay, then I respect that. Then I will form an opinion around that. But most people, you are not defined by the way you make your money, and I do not define people by the way they make their money. I don't see them as teachers or engineers or lawyers. No, just human. Just same meat with head, body, two arms, two legs. No need to label that. Just a human. And if you guys just join me, today I made two live streams. In the first live stream, about 30 minutes, I brought you guys to the down the shopping streets of Istanbul to discover the Christmas decorations in the shopping streets of Istanbul and to experience the snow of Istanbul. Yes, it's snowing today. You can't really see on camera all the snow. You can never see on camera unless it's super heavy. But it's snowing today, first snow of Istanbul today. I'm so glad to share with you guys today together, to experience the first snow of Istanbul together on camera like this. Very happy about that. And because the snow got very very heavy, so I came back to my favorite book cafe, grabbed a hot coffee, nice little deco here, and yeah, I just do a little chit chat since I still have batteries left. GQ. Yes, we are equal. People say yes, we are equal, but it's not an easy concept. It's not an easy concept to internalize. For most people, you are always remain nothing more than a theory, not a reality. Good morning, Tressa. Okay, for those of you who just joined me, I made two live streams today. This is the second live stream. The first live stream, I brought you guys down the streets of Istanbul, the shopping street of Istanbul, to check out the Christmas decorations here in Istanbul. So if you are curious about the Christmas decorations in Istanbul, check out the first live stream today. And also, I also made a video about what Christmas is like here in Istanbul. I'm likely to release that video tomorrow, so stay tuned for that video as well. And today is also the first snow here in Istanbul, and it's all caught in that live stream as well. So you guys can experience with me the first snow at Istanbul in the first live stream today. Alright? So watch it. Nothing like, there's no more magical feeling than outside is snowing and you're inside with a hot cup of coffee in the hand like this. This feels like heaven. So nice. And tomorrow I'm going to go to a tourist area here in Istanbul, the Taksim area, to check out the Christmas decorations in Taksim area. Honestly, the Christmas decorations here in Istanbul is really just the shopping area and the tourist areas. Nowhere else. It's not like in some countries when it's Christmas everywhere you feel it. No, not here in Turkey. Turkey is after all a Muslim country, yeah. So Christmas decorations is really just limited to the shopping street, the shopping mall, and tourist areas. In the other areas like the neighborhood areas, in the normal areas, and even as I show you just now, the shopping area but not the main shopping street, you won't see it as well. Only a small stretch of very main shopping street you will see the decorations. This Christmas deco is not a big thing here. Understand that after all this is a Muslim country. DCM. In SG, the weather now still the same. It's same every fucking day. This is the very reason I left Singapore 20 years ago. I wonder. This is for this very reason I left Singapore and left everything behind and left everyone behind. Everyone. Low. Hello, wise man. Low. For those of you who just joined me, I made two live streams today. This is the second live stream. The first live stream I brought you guys down the streets the shopping streets of Istanbul to discover the Christmas lighting and decorations of Istanbul. So check out the first live stream if you missed it. It's very interesting because today is also the first snow of Istanbul, and you in that live stream you can experience the first snow of Istanbul together with me as well. Yes, it's a snowing day, 0 degrees Celsius today. Does your ears or lip hurt due to the coldness? No, not anymore. Yeah, in my first couple of years of winter, yes, but this is my 21st winter or 22nd winter, so I don't have it. I don't get that anymore. Usually my ear bites only if it is more than minus 20 degrees. Yeah, if it's lower than minus 20 degrees, I still get a bit, not a lot. But when I first went to Beijing, well, it was very bad. Oh no, when I first went to Shanghai, this happened. When I first went to Shanghai, it wasn't even really cold. It was like 4 to 5 degrees Celsius, and my lip cracked all the way down to the chin. Yeah, it was crazy. I was not used to it at all. It took a few years. To get used to this, and now, boom, this nothing. And now, I think I get a little bit of pain when it's minus 20, minus 25. Yeah, or minus 15 in the wind. If there's a lot of wind, about minus 15. Yeah. Good morning, Kim Teo. For those of you who just joined me, welcome. This is the second live stream for today. In the first live stream, I brought you guys down the shopping street of Istanbul to check out the Christmas lightings and decorations. So if you miss it, please watch the first live stream of today, okay, a 30 minutes live stream. And in that live stream, okay, you can enjoy and experience the first snow of Istanbul with me. Yes, today is the first snowing day of Istanbul for this year. Okay, so you can join me in my last live stream. This is second live stream. I didn't want to do this second live stream, but I was doing video out there and the snow got so bad because I'm doing a video about how Turkey is like during Christmas, and the snow got too heavy. And so I came to my favorite book cafe. Yes, it's snowing outside. You can't see on camera. Usually you can't see snow on camera unless it's super strong. And boom, a hot cup of coffee. So check out my first live stream if you want to experience the first snow of Istanbul with me, okay? Lolo, did you use face mask to moisturize your face? It can be very dry. No, never. Can't be bothered. Now I can't be bothered. When I first went to Shanghai, yes, I use a lot of lotion, like heavy lotion, and even baby oil. Yeah, during the first few years, I'd say during the first 5 years of winter, I need to, even lotion won't help. I need to use baby oil, pure oil, just spread oil, to keep the water. Yeah, but after this is my 20th or 22nd. I think 22nd winter. I'm immune to all this thing now. My whole body has changed. That's why my whole physical makeup has changed very, very significantly from how I was born. Right now, my whole bio makeup is very different from when I was still living in Singapore. Now my bio makeup is 100% a 4 seasons kind of bio makeup. That is actually different. Like I explained in yesterday's live stream, very different. Genetically, if you evolve from having 4 seasons, and then you force yourself to live in no 4 seasons for generations, you get into a lot of trouble. Your genes start to screw up. You see a lot of very young people getting cancer in Singapore, even though the health and everything is so good in health services and life in Singapore is so good. Why? Because most Singaporeans who are non-native to that region, non-native meaning you're not Micronesian or Malay, then your genes evolve from expecting, your bio clock expects 4 seasons. Your bio clock is still going on 4 seasons, because you've been in Singapore for less than 100 years, where you evolved in 4 seasons for millions of years. So therefore you start to screw up. So my entire family had cancer and died before about in their 60s. Yeah, that's how bad it is. when you force your genes to live in places where they did not evolve from, you know. All my uncles got cancer and died in their 60s, very young. Now I pretty much don't have any relatives who are like in their elderlies, you know. Not even my dad made it. My dad didn't even make it to his 40th birthday. So I'm older than my dad right now, actually. Oh, and my dad didn't look this good when before he died. He's like 38, 39. Oh, he didn't look this young. I'm sorry, I beat you, Dad. I beat you in every way, Dad. I'm sorry. Kim Teo, that's probably due to genetics. Yeah, because your genes expect 4 seasons, and your genes go through enormous stress when you don't get 4 seasons because it's expecting seasonal changes, and therefore a lot of very young cancer in Singapore. I don't see so much young cancer even in Korea and Japan where lifestyle is so super stressed out. Koreans get a lot of cancers, especially stomach cancer from soju actually. Not even from really like genetics or what. But it's quite indisputable. Yeah? You can't dispute that, no, that your genes did not evolve in that environment, and forcing yourself to live in that environment is not good. That part of the world is native to Micronesians. Well, Micronesian peoples are Malay, what we call Malay people. Okay, that's their part of the world. We actually have no bloody business being in that part of the world. We're not even genetically designed for that part of the world. Yeah, that's to be very scientific, you know. DCM, what do you think about flaky scalp? Flaky, then you need to use Head and Shoulders. But I used to have a lot of problem with flaky scalp until I left Singapore. After I left Singapore, until I got back into a 4 seasons environment, I stopped having flaky scalp altogether. Yeah. When I was in Singapore, I was 100% addicted to. I'm like 100% have to use Head and Shoulders to control dandruff. But amazingly, that dandruff just stopped altogether a few years after I lived in a 4 seasons country. So I can really feel my genetics like realigning themselves back into their original state. My bio clock and everything started realigning themselves. I can tell you, you may not agree with me. It's your right to disagree with me if you have not experienced it yet. But one day, if you get to experience living in 4 seasons country, you start to understand why. When you start to realign your body, you start to feel different. Yeah, you start to feel very different, and you find it very, very hard to realign back into a non-4 seasons environment. It's like forcing a Martian to live on Earth, or Earthling to forcing themselves to live on Mars, you know. That kind of thing. DCM. Actually, I went Korea for 1 week on December and snowing before. Oh, nice. So you know, yeah? Snow is nice, yeah? You know, after 22 snows, I'm still intrigued by snow. If you watch my live stream just now, you see I'm still playing the snow like a kid, you know. After 22 snows, I'm still intrigued by snow. Kim Teo, does that genetic trait get evolved through generations? No. You're only third generation in Southeast Asia. That's less than 100 years. But your genes span millions of years in 4 seasons countries. Oh. So your 3 generations is such a small, tiny, in fact, 3 to 5 generations is but a tiny, insignificant speck of time in the scope of global time and genetic time. What you experience about life is just a microsecond of just a flash. Your 100 years of life is just a flash when you look at it from the global time and genetic timeline. We are insignificant flash of light. Sometimes It's so insignificant. You come and go, nobody even know. Nobody even feel that you have gone or came. You know. So understand that 3 generations is very, very short. 5 generations is short. In fact, 400 years is short. As such, you see, most of the artificial things that have been created around us is less than 100 years, 100 years is so short. Come on. 100 years is a very short time. When you start to realign yourself back into what I call the planet time rather than society time. Yes, we spoke about society time and nature time extensively a few days ago, right? This is what I mean. When you understand real nature time, 100 years is very short. 3 generations is very, very short, my dear. Your genes has evolved millions of years in that environment, and you spend less than 100 years in this environment. There's not enough time for any form of evolution. You have not evolved in any way to match this environment at all. You still look the same even. This environment is designed for Micronesians. Micronesians evolve out of this environment in the Indonesians, in the Indonesias, the Australias, the Malaysias. They evolved in this environment for millions of years. That's why they are so good in this environment. Not us, I'm completely East Asian, so I evolved in a completely different part of the world. DCM, Chilsong cider and everything is white color, yeah, and the floor is thick cushion, yeah, nice, yeah. I know, really, it's it's just amazing. Like winter, just you can feel your body flow with the seasons if you live in 4 seasons environment long enough, and your body begins to expect that flow, and you flow with the flow, and generally you become healthier than if you don't. And I have had friends in Singapore who were from mainland China, uh, and by winter they all got into depression because their body was expecting cold weather or colder weather, but Singapore is still that hot and humid, and they got depression, for that, and they went back to China just because of that. Yeah, I've known friends like that. The body just cannot get used to it. See, when you look at life from your limited 100 years time perspective, everything looks big, everything looks long. 3 generations feels like a long time. No, when you realign yourself, get out of your tiny little limited perspective or self perspective and realign into world perspective, you will begin to see how insignificant all this time is. How insignificant 3 or 5 generations, 100 years, or even 400 years is insignificant in the history of the world and the history of evolution, and how we came to be is completely insignificant. In fact, if one day Singapore disappears, 100 years after the disappearance of Singapore, nobody will even remember or know that Singapore even existed before. Yeah, because it's existed for such an insignificant amount of time in the scope of world time. Kim Teo, I need to go live in a 4 season country. Yes, go back to your genetic origins. That's what I say. Where your genes come from, you should go back to the environment. You guys watch My Love from the Stars, huh? Pure as own today, or I think in Mandarin they call it 来自星星的你. You watch that Korean drama, like the biggest Korean drama, like 7-8 years ago. Why does the what's his name? Why does the alien guy need to go back? Because Earth is not his natural environment, and he's dying here. After 400 years of being on Earth, he's dying here. So again, kind of like it's not a real story, but it kind of drive the point, that if your genes evolve in a certain environment, eventually you have to go back to the environment. Otherwise, your genes suffer. More and more it suffers. There's a genetic stress. Do you know this thing called genetic stress, cellular stress? It builds up, over the generations. Because sadly, we have evolved in a certain environment for millions of years. And if you just move to a new environment for less than 100 years, it's insignificant. Your genes do not have enough time to get used to nothing. You just you are just not from that environment. That's all. That's all there is. Just like people who live in the high ground, the high plateaus of Tibet, they evolve for high altitude lifestyle, and when they start to come down to the low altitude places, they start to have problems. Or people like us who evolve in low altitudes, going to Tibet, you start to have problems. It's the same thing. Your genes evolve out of a very specific environment to become what you are today. It's very efficient. But when you try to change it, suddenly it's like ordering char kway teow halfway and then you order chicken rice. Now it becomes all messed up. And for those of you who just joined my live stream, welcome. Today, this is the second live stream of today. In the first live stream, I brought you guys to see the Christmas decorations on the shopping streets of Istanbul and experience the first snow of Istanbul. Yes, it was snowing really heavily just now. So lucky to catch both the Christmas lightings and the snow together. So if you missed that, watch the first part of today's live stream. Actually, I renamed that live stream to discover the Christmas deco in Istanbul. So check that out. I'm also making a video about what Turkey is like during Christmas. So do stay tuned for that video as well. Yeah. And tomorrow I'll take you guys to see more Christmas decorations in a touristy area here in Istanbul, which is the Taksim Square area. Okay, tomorrow. If it's not snowing too heavily, if it's snowing super heavily where it's hard to walk, then I won't go because it's a 45 minutes walk from my home. So if the snow gets heavier and walking becomes hard, then I won't go. Huh? It's still snowing, but you can't see it on the camera. It's such a snowing day with a hot cup of coffee like this. This to me, this is the feeling of Christmas. This is the feeling of Christmas. Oh.
Aslı, o mekisi aşağıya alın.
Still got some berry left. So that was a 30 minutes live stream, yeah. And so right now it's around 40 minutes. So today's live stream has been very long, though. It's not just this 40 minutes. It's been 2 parts, huh? Isn't coffee cat poop? They are cat poop coffee, but this is not. cat poop coffee is actually very, very expensive, okay? I'm having more coffee than I should today. Having like at least 3 times the daily dosage today. Not good. I'm breaking. Ever since I stick to just 1 coffee a day, my energy level has been rising through the roof, man. But today's I drank a venti americano. That's 2 cups of coffee in one, and 1 more, so 3 cups of coffee already today. I think I'm gonna have a very bad energy crash later this afternoon. Do you know coffee is actually negative prana? Okay, in terms of pranic diet, meaning energy or chi, a diet for energy or chi. Coffee and tea or all kinds of stimulants are negative prana. All these things suck up your energy, it doesn't provide you energy, it suck up your energy. Meaning it gives you a temporary boost by drawing on more energy than you should, and after that you crash for the rest of the day. So so it's actually anti-prana. Hop Hansel, hi. How about Europeans that live in Australia, the opposites? Yeah, so then you have a lot of problems. Yeah. I cannot say that the current European Australians in Australia and New Zealand do not have problems. They are just not the Aboriginal people. Just compare them with the Aboriginians. It's just different. The Aboriginians really evolved on those places, and you can immediately have a feel how differently they are connected with the land of Australia than the European Australians. You can immediately feel it. Yeah, and you can still feel it. When I was in Australia, I felt it very strongly. The Aboriginians are immediately you can feel when you look at them, you see Australia. You know, they are so much a part of the land. But the European settlers, even today, I think not quite. Like, just stands a little bit separate, from that land. Not, I'm not trying to discourage immigration, yeah. Not trying saying that humans should not move, but honestly, you have that human beings didn't start moving so rapidly in such a big way ever in history than it is today. Even when I was young, human beings didn't move this much because air ticket was expensive back then. Today, human being is moving across the world at a much greater pace than ever before in the history of mankind. And therefore, we have a lot of problems. In the past, when human beings have very huge migrations, that migration take place over generations. Going from Egypt to Israel took 3 generations. Okay, so going from one country to another is a journey of multiple generations, so there was a lot of getting used to along the way. And even so, it's pretty much still not extremely different climates. But today mankind is moving from extreme climates to extreme climates within days. So we're doing something very anti-nature here, and we're not allowing our genes and our body to get used to any of this. We're not giving it time at all. It I don't know. I would say our body is undergoing a kind of torture it never did in millions of years. And you really start to feel it when you return to your native environment. If not, then nothing, everything I say is just bullshit here. You may feel I'm perfectly okay where I am right now. Yes, because you never experience another choice, so of course it's okay because you're used to it. But once you return to your native environment, you will see, and for at least a year, you will see a difference. You will see a difference in how your body starts to realign and react. Of course, for a while, your body's not going to get used to it. For a while, your body's going to get a lot of problems. Like when I first moved to China from Singapore, I had a lot of problems during winter. I not just lip crack, I had chin cracks. Entire thing was like swollen like that. 3 cracks like this. Ears, everything. I got a lot of problems. I suffered a lot of problems. And rashes, cold rashes. So winter was actually very, very hard for me during my at least first 5 years. Of my first 5 winters were very hard for me. But after 5 years or 6 years, I started to get used to it. So yeah, you need to give like maybe 1 year is not enough. We're talking about you need to give yourself years, like not even a very long time, like 5 to 10 years, not that long. Yeah, 5 to 10 years is a very short time. Something like that. Yeah, 5 to 10 years is actually a really short time. when it come, even when you talk about your bio timing, not even talking about nature timing. Of course, 5 to 10 years sounds like a crazy long time for society timing. Huh? The fake society timing that ages everybody. For society timing, you're like, wow, 5 to 10 years. It sounds like a generation. But when you realign back to nature timing, 5 to 10 years is nothing. It's a snap. And again, this ties back down to what I was saying a few days ago uh, about psychological aging or bio clock aging, where when you connect to certain time structures, you age faster or slower. Okay, so since nobody's quite interested in in my topic today, yeah, I just have coffee, and in a while I'll end because nobody's discussing nothing, nobody's talking. Oh, DCM, I can't do plain coffee, it's too dirty. Oh, whatever. Well, just now it's snowing, suddenly right now stop and sunny again. Gotta save some battery to do a funny video with this Santa Claus here. Okay, yeah, since nobody's talking and nobody's interested in the discussion, then I'll just end it here then. Happy Eve. Happy Eve of Christmas Eve. Tomorrow is Christmas Eve. Today is Eve of Eve. Yesterday is Eve of Eve. Eve of Eve. Today is Eve of Eve. Merry Christmas and have a good one. See you guys tomorrow. Join me tomorrow in the Taksim area to check out more Christmas decorations in Istanbul. Annyeong.